hard work and determination of our area athletes. This is The Score on WQAD News 8.
Good evening and welcome to The Score Sunday, and happy Easter. What a week it's been in local sports. Over the next half hour, we'll get you caught up on some of the biggest stories from this past week. Coming up tonight, we'll meet the new Mercer County football coach. The Golden Eagles didn't have to search far to find their next head coach, and it's someone that's very familiar with the program. We'll wrap up the Hawkeyes' magical run to a national runner-up finish and what fans can expect for next year. Our FCA Story of the Week features one of the best softball players in the state and her impact with her team. And it was opening day for the Quad City River Bandits this past week. What goes in to that big day? But we kick off tonight with a new Mercer County football coach. It's Tanner Matlick. Tanner is a 2013 grad of Mercer County, leading the Golden Eagles to a state title and undefeated season his senior year. Tanner also a Monmouth grad. So you've been away from the program, so what did I say, 2013, so about 10 years. Does it feel like it's been that long since you've kind of been associated with the program?
You know, it does and it doesn't, honestly. I mean, you look back, there's a lot that's happened in my life in the last 10 years that I'm very proud of. You know, I've accomplished a lot in those past 10 years, going on to Monmouth to play down there, and then graduating, getting into the business world, being successful on that front, and starting a family, honestly. So yeah. A lot has gone on in the 10 years that I graduated from Mercer County High School.
Well, we have some video of you playing. So I want to, if we can roll this video real quick. This is, I believe, your junior year game against El Paso Gridley. Do you remember this game at all?
I do, yeah. We had a good game plan going into these guys. And every year I played at Mercer County, our coaching staff did a good job of preparing us for our games. And so, yeah, I remember this one very vividly, and that goes for all the playoff games we played in at Mercer County that I was a part of. We were pretty successful in those years that I was there, and, you know, blessed to be a part of that program in that time frame.
You guys had a good game. You won that one. You got to the state quarters, I believe, that year, and then the next year you won a state title. Let's cut out of this video now, because the next one, I don't want to say what happened. I think you threw a pick.
I think we all know what happened.
Pick on the next pass, but you still won the game. That's all that matters. Does it feel weird to kind of be back in this capacity now as head coach, and is it always something you've wanted to do?
Feel weird? No. I think it feels right for me, Corey. And it is definitely something that I've always had my eyes set on, my sights set on, you know, ever since I graduated from Monmouth College and started learning the game a little bit differently down at Monmouth, to where, you know, a lot of the times the quarterback position I thought was all about, you know, pocket movement in your arm, but down at Monmouth I learned that playing the quarterback position is a lot about mindset and what you know the defense is going to be doing. So it's kind of a head game in that sense. So learned a lot about game scheme and, you know, getting people in the position to be successful, and that really is what turned me on to wanting to be a head coach or an assistant coach, at least in some capacity, after I left there. So yeah, it's definitely something that I've wanted to do for a long time. You
know, from being a player, the expectations of Mercer County football, even go back to Aledo football. That sign at George Pratt kind of is glaring example of what people expect. Now that you're head coach, what can people expect from a Tanner Matlick coached Mercer County team?
So I've met with our kids already, and there's 5 core values that I want our kids to follow and, you know, keep in mind in everything they do. It's respect, discipline, toughness, togetherness, and maximum effort all the time. So I want our kids to really focus on those core values, and if at the end of the day they're not a special football player, you know, an all-stater or anything in that capacity, they can take those 5 core values into life and be successful in life. So that's what I see a Tanner Matlick-led Mercer County football team being, is embodying those 5 things and putting a lot of wins up on the board as well while we do that.
Do you feel pressure? I know you haven't coached a game, you haven't coached a practice yet. Any pressure for you at this point, knowing what you were able to accomplish, what Mercer County, Aledo has been able to accomplish over the years with football?
I don't think it's pressure, Corey. You know, it's just the expectation in the community is that we're going to have a successful program. And that's what everybody wants at the end of the day. That's what I want. That's what the kids want. That's what the community wants. So to call that pressure, I don't really think that's probably the right word to describe it. It's just high expectations all the time. And I have those high expectations too, and I know the kids will have those high expectations as well.
Now that you're in this position, we kind of talked a little bit, you started getting your staff together, things like that. What does the off season, or I guess the summer season, kind of look for you guys as you get ready here?
It's going to be a grind. It's a lot of work. You know, defensively, I'm bringing our defensive coordinator back from last year. But offensively, I told the kids already there's going to be a lot of changes on the offensive side of the ball. Coach Hofer called it, you know, a successful offense last year, but my scheme is just a little bit different than what he operated with. So offensively, there's going to be some tweaks and a little bit of a learning curve. So it's going to be a lot of work for these kids in the off season. And I told them that in the upfront when I met with them face-to-face for the first time this past Wednesday, is that the summer's going to be a grind. But that's what we love about football. That's what every football player loves about the sport, is it is a grind. And we're going to have to outwork our opponents every day. Even though they're not right in front of us, the 9 opponents on our schedule, we have to know that we are getting better than them each and every day.
Do you feel like certain coaches, certain people along the way of your football journey have led you to this point and guided you to this point? Like, have you taken bits and pieces from them?
Absolutely, yeah. So, like I said in the early part of the interview, Corey, I was coached by a bunch of great leaders when I was at Mercer County, and the same down at Monmouth College. You know, Coach's uncle was a great leader of young men, Coach Dennison, who has recently passed. I'm taking a lot of his old schemes and want to implement it to this team. And then down at Monmouth College, Coach Braun, Coach Freitag, and Coach Peterson, you know, is really who catapulted me into loving football the way I do today and really thinking about the game a little bit differently, kind of from a coach's perspective. So yeah, taking things from all those guys and implementing it into these teams moving forward.
One thing I've always enjoyed about going out to Mercer County, the fans are passionate, and you know you're going to get that, but to that walk down the hill for pregame, how intimidating do you feel that walk is, and is it something you're going to continue as a head coach?
Oh, absolutely. That's a long-standing tradition down at Mercer County, and I think from an opposing player's perspective, if I were to ever be on the other side of that, to see a team united walking down that hill kind of with the drums playing, and I'm sure it is intimidating, and I'm sure, you know, just the aura of George Pratt Memorial Field is probably intimidating in and of itself. So I can't thank our community and our fan base enough. I know we'll be rocking and rolling down there on Friday nights and Saturday afternoons at George Pratt this year.
Well, we're excited for you to get started, and I'm sure that in 30 years they're going to name the press box the Tanner Matlick Press Box or something.
I don't know about that, Corey.
No?
That might be taking it a little far.
Tanner, thanks so much for coming in,
Appreciate
and
it.
good luck in your first season.
Thank you.